What's up, Fire Nation? It's your boy Rico, along with my little big cousin G-Baby and our boy Raul, the Zookeeper, and we are the Friendly Fire Podcast, the hottest podcast on either side of the Mississippi. Episode 46, baby, at long last.
46. Let's do it again.
We try this again. We are back at it in the dungeon in the firehouse, trying to give y'all some hot content. How y'all doing today? Wellness this morning. Wellness
Good
check.
morning, everybody.
Good morning. How are we doing today?
We're doing good.
Good
Zoo?
morning, Vietnam. I'm good.
As y'all see, Playboy Zoo in here with the shades. He was out there,
you see the wrist glowing.
Oh yeah. At doing the full
How many
Latino
bands?
experience at the Bad Bunny concert. Speak on to my brother. How was it?
It was
How was
amazing.
everything?
It was great. Got there like around 6:30ish.
Mm-hmm.
That line outside was mad long to get in.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a good thing we got there early. Tried to get in that merch line. No, sir. We're gonna miss the whole concert standing in that merch line. That
trying
was
to do that.
ridiculous. And the concert started around 9:30 and ended like around 11:20.
That's
Or
crazy.
2 hours.
My man's came in the aquatic gear.
Yeah, you was full
fresh to
blown
death, shark
Yeah,
man.
Animorph out there. Look at
Funny, so I bought the shark costume because it became a whole trend to wear the shark costume
Shout
at
out
his
to
concert.
TikTok.
And I bought it. Shout out Amazon, got it to me in a day. And I wore it. And I had told the people behind me, I was like, don't worry, because I was second floor, first row. So I was gonna be like I'm gonna wear it right now before when the DJ's just playing the regular music before the concert starts. And I was like, don't worry, I'll put it. But they didn't care. They were like, no, you keep it on, because everyone was. I felt like I felt like I was like, yo, this Kanye feeling.
Is that Shark 28 over there? Oh,
Thanks, bro. I was out. Everyone was like, oh, take a picture. Especially when we were walking to the merch line, and everyone was like stopping to take pics, and my sister was getting annoyed because she was trying to get to the merch line, and she was like,
looks like we got a hater. Yeah.
Tomatoes.
she got to the point where I took a picture with a couple people in a row, and I turned around, she wasn't there anymore, and I texted her. I was like, "Where'd you go?" My bad. And she's like, "Oh, I'll just see you at the seats." And I was like,
photographer.
This man over here is doing entirely too much.
I was like, "Thanks." So that was fun, and then the concert started. I took off I just deflated it, so it just unzipped it. It comes off, and then that song where you put it on, they play the Jaws theme. Where everybody puts it back on, basically. Yeah. I put it back on, and I think I did it too hard because the zip fell off, but it was still closed, so it filled up. And then to take it off, I had to rip it. So it was a one.
Oh,
which
man,
is funny
R.I.P.
because the comments or the reviews on the Amazon page where there's 2 complaints. One, there's only one size, and the size is you got to be at least my height or higher because the little
the eyelid,
it was literally where my eyes were. So if I was,
you gotta be this tall to ride this ride.
If I was an inch or 2 shorter, that would have been over with.
I'm suffocating.
And
take it out.
So that was the number 1 complaint, the size, because people were like, "Oh, I'm 5'2", and it didn't work. I bought it for my kids, it didn't work." All right. And the second complaint was, this is a one-time use costume, because everyone was as soon as we tried to use it for a second time, it didn't work.
Ain't none of that.
It broke or ripped or whatever. And
it wasn't the best quality.
I did what I needed to do.
Yeah. So I
numbers have been secured.
I'm gonna be on TikTok tonight, tomorrow. I better see people take TikTok, because people were recording me because I put it on. I got out of the car, I had it deflated. As soon as I got out of the whip, it was cold as shit. And like I said, the line was long. So I was like, before we start walking, I'm just going to inflate it.
He said warmth.
Yeah, this will protect me from the wind at least.
Heat powers activate.
And literally as I'm walking, everyone's taking videos of me, recording me. People are telling me to take pics. And I'm I'm just trying to get to the line, man.
How was life inside of the suit?
It was nice. I felt like a superhero. No one knew who I was.
Sharks ain't supposed to be on land.
There was literally
What's going on out here?
there was literally people who, I heard at least 2 people on separate occasions they'll peek around and try to look at the thing. They're like, oh, it's a guy in it. Oh, it's a girl in it, and stuff like that. So they were doing that with people. I guess they were trying to see, because I guess another trend was where people were dance on them.
Oh,
so I guess they were just trying to see
hey, yo,
Shark 28 is cool to dance on the ladies.
He gonna be a sign all right, ladies only.
Yeah, facts. So but it was fun. It was dope.
That's good.
And Bad Bunny does a great concert. He does the stage moves, the stage unfolds, it refolds, it folds up, folds down. The monitors that he has around the stadium go up and down. Oh. They turn around 360. It's a whole production.
And he sounds like a superstar.
It was insane.
I've never heard anybody complain about one of his
concerts.
I've heard
that like people go to like even when he does like back to back, like people be trying to go to both because of how good of a show he puts on.
Yeah.
So and shout out to Bad Bunny.
The couple directly behind me either got into a big fight
really?
Or they were resellers because they sat the main people that first told like, yo, don't worry. The chick was like, oh, that's fine, keep it on. And like I had turned around a couple of times and they were just sitting like throughout the concert and like even during the jobs when second to last one was going crazy. I do like a whole 360 in my shark suit and I look at them, they're just sitting there like bored out of their minds. I was like, oh, they either resellers or they got into a huge fight.
Clearly broke up with each other.
It's the Shark's fault.
You told him it was okay.
Yeah.
I didn't agree to that.
But yeah, it was fun. It was good.
Oh,
10 out of 10 I would go to Soldier Field if I wasn't poor.
I feel that. Yeah. Only reason you be poor is because you go to every other concert.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not like you just don't have money. You be like, you know what?
If you miss out on one, you can make the other one.
Yeah,
you go like, to the 5 and miss the one.
That's the thing. It's like, he's coming 5 days after a year. You go to 4. Yeah. And to be upset you can't go to the last one.
He's taxing on this last one.
That's a little too much. See how high gas is right now? I can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah. Nah, speaking of that, that's
it's a dub to get in the whip.
Nah, bro, for real. I was on my way here, and I don't go to this BP at all, but it was a BP on Harrison right before you get on the expressway to come back out towards the suburbs. The regular gas is at $5.29. Like I've seen some places where like the premium or like the E85 was in the 5s, and you're like, well, I'm only gonna go for the 4 or whatever. It was like, nah, we starting you off with way too high, and then we just gonna grow from there. And gas is so weird to me when you look like from a station per station perspective, because you'll have a BP or a Marathon that's just like, oh yeah, we just gonna charge y'all more,
right?
And then there'll be like a regular mom and pop gas station across the street that's clearly like 30 cents less, and everybody is busting out the BP. Yeah. Like, you ain't see all them animals they killed in the sea? Y'all still lining up.
Ocean's a big place.
It wasn't my part of the ocean they killed. No, but that's everything with the whole Ukraine thing is just like a domino effect. Mm-hmm. And what some people are trying to say is that we can't keep excusing, because of the war going on with Ukraine for the gas prices, because it's like even when the little time Obama had the gas prices when they had peaked, he was like, everything else wasn't 10 times as expensive. Yeah. Like, it's just not feasible. Everything's expensive right now. It is just not feasible to live on what we thought is shorties, $25 an hour. That's nothing.
At all.
That is nothing right now. That is a shame.
I think you have to make 21, at least 21 to like make it in
Illinois.
Yeah. Like, and that's like with a roommate.
Yeah, you have to, you know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
and
that's crazy because it's like our apartments aren't even as bad as like a New York where you paying for like a closet for
and you got to share a bathroom. Like, that's weird. I'm not sharing no bathroom paying $1,000 a month. I'm just not. You're just not.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hey man, dorm students do it all the time.
I mean, that's different. You in college, like, you got to do that. But I'm paying $1,500. Oh, I'm in Brooklyn and I'm not sharing no bathroom with nobody.
They be so proud. They be like, just like, oh yeah, guess where I'm at? The ghetto. There's no reason.
I seen on Twitter today somebody was like, oh, I'm in New York. Been in New York 30 years. This is the first time a rat crawled up my leg.
I saw that.
I was like,
that's nasty.
Some things you gotta take to the grave.
I would have killed everybody in the immediate area around me.
Like, so y'all saw this rat just crawling in my vicinity and didn't say nothing?
Like, that's just disgusting.
Mm-hmm. And they just swear up and down.
It's just beautiful. Like, it's nice.
Everybody,
got Spider-Man.
Like, the best people.
They have their trash on the street, don't they?
They don't have alleys.
Monster. Because the biggest thing with like New Yorkers, it'd be like the suburban New Yorkers, the ones that got the room for a yard.
Yeah.
Like, it don't be like like you get the comedians, oh yeah, New York and all of this. All right, okay.
But what's a New York suburb? Like, I've never really like Long Island. Is that one of those?
I guess
Staten Island. I feel like
Staten Island is like
that's Wu-Tang.
That's Shaolin. Ain't nothing nice in Shaolin.
No, it's like Staten Island sounds like it should be like a pleasant place. Yeah. Oh yeah, we went down to Staten Island.
Like, there's like I guess Staten Island, like where Vinny from Jersey Shore lives. His house seems nice.
Maybe because I would think like New
His
Jersey because that's kind of like where their suburbs start.
I guess, yeah.
Maybe.
Because like
a lot of people from New Jersey.
According to Charlemagne, you have to pay. He pays like taxes in New Jersey because that's where he lives, and in New York because that's where he works. So he pays double taxes. I'm like, dog.
I would have shot somebody.
I know you're rich, but I know they taxing you crazy in both
nuts.
states.
Both states, bro.
That's crazy.
I was always thrown off because it was like Nas is from Queens and then so is Peter Parker. So I was like. I was like, so what is Queens? Like,
I don't know. Every time they show Queens, like
Coming to America, like Peter Parker's from there.
But like, that's what I'm saying though, because every time they show Queens in like a Spider-Man situation, Peter Parker and Aunt May live in the suburbs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I'm like, okay, wait, where is the ghetto part of the?
I'm like, is Nas across the street? Like, because 50 Cent is from there as well.
Yeah, he's from Queens. Well, I guess there's
Nicki
different.
Minaj. I mean, but it's like
I think there's different because Nicki Minaj is from Queens, but she always is Southside Jamaica or whatever.
Yeah, but
they make it seem like such a small area. Like you've never run into.
Okay, how big is Queens then?
That's the thing is I don't know. It's not
because like New York cities are like massive, but it's more so people just on top of each other.
But isn't everything like in Manhattan? Isn't that broken down? No, because Queens is like across a bridge or something.
Yeah, like I to my knowledge, and I don't know New York anything geography, culture, whatever. But to my knowledge, they're all their own like little boroughs. So like you obviously got Manhattan, like you said, Queens, the Bronx, Brooklyn, all Bed-Stuy, all of that is its own thing. But when you think of Queens and you think of Spider-Man, it's like, okay, it's this nice little suburban neighborhood. Right. And then Nas is rapping about all the drive-bys and drug addicts.
You know, like, 50 Cent getting shot across the street. You be like, wait a minute. Like,
where was Spider-Man during this?
He wasn't involved in none of that. You didn't hear that? Swing past that?
This is Chicagoans trying to figure out New York in a nutshell. New Yorkers don't even understand New York.
Yes, they do. They have their own language out there.
Man, they swear up and down that's the place to be. But obviously, as we were talking about before we started dissing New York. Thoughts and prayers to everybody in the whole Ukraine situation. I know the details, but it's one of those things where it's so much that just like keeps popping up. Putin and the president of Ukraine basically got a whole rap battle going on. Just like, I'm not leaving, you not leaving. What's this gonna be?
I saw the mayor suit up with the AK. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
he
was a
this
comedian before he was doing this.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Like you could be a comedian. Don't mean you was a comedian.
I mean, isn't there one of those boxers also a mayor?
Yeah,
those
the two brothers. They're going to go fight.
It's just like, man.
It's like, bro, they really recruited. Imagine us having like to recruit Shaq. Like, yo,
Just
Shaq, front line.
You the tank. You taking all of these.
You could carry 2 bazookas at one Shaq. Let's go.
Yeah, we immediately sending out John Cena. Like, they can't even see you, bro.
This is gonna be over
he's all stuff missions.
Yeah. Just hearing the music, John Cena. Ukraine, what the hell's going on?
What is this? But yeah, man, it's a lot. And, you know, black people was upset that black people and Mexicans gonna do what we do, which is make fun of tragic situations. I'm not here to fight no white man's war. This is between y'all and them. I have nothing to do with this. My biggest input is that gas is too high. There's no reason gas needs to be that high. Y'all can keep gas where it's at and still be making a profit. Y'all niggas is greedy.
Y'all need to figure that out.
Y'all
quick
is greedy.
Before the summer.
This is man. Look,
man, I ain't paying $5 no gas.
It's gonna be horse and carriage.
For walking. I'm not hopping on that train.
Nah, it's gonna be too crowded. Everybody gonna have the same amount. I'll just take the train.
Invest in the bike.
I might just have to. I haven't rode a bike in like 10 years almost.
Yeah. It's been a lot.
Like I can like still ride. I just like my bike broke when I was like I think like 14, and I just was like, well, okay, I'm gonna just foot it.
This is literally God's last resort to like, yo, Raul, lose weight. It's like his last resort. It's like, all right.
Look, we got people dying for you, man. Like we need
now or nothing.
I just don't want to tear my hamstrings up on a bike. After 10 years, you get to, I'm going and just rip.
Bro, I remember what I knew.
I still gotta go to work.
Yeah, I knew I was about. I'm not done riding a bike, but when I forgot how to ride with no hands, like randomly, I was just like, dang, what's the balance to this? I'm like, you know what, this ain't for me.
He's making these bikes different.
Like I was trying to do calculation. Okay, if I twist my hip this way and I drop my arm this low, I should be able. Nah, it's not even. Nope, they can keep that. Cause I used to, man, me and my brothers in the neighborhood, we just would ride just nowhere, just riding. Yeah. And it's like like I said, mine broke, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna just go to the gym and play some basketball. Right. So yeah, man. Let's start this off. Let's start it off right.
We got some juicy stuff on the diet. Oh, let's start with our boy Jussie then.
Jussie Smollett. He has been sentenced to 150 years, 150 days for lying to the police about the whole incident that went down on a cold winter night when
around this time.
Yeah, around this time during a winter vortex on his way to Subway at 2:00 in the morning. Yeah. Two white supremacists.
They never disclosed.
You N-word, F-word, this, that, and the third. Take this noose and keep on moving.
They were just walking around with that noose.
Just walking, just looking. we know he's here.
Yeah. I'd be downtown at 12 o'clock and have yet to see one noose.
Man.
Or a strand of rope.
This is like one of the longest trials that I had like completely forgot. I thought it was going to be like some community service.
Was this not before the pandemic started? I feel like
this was 2018.
Yes, it was. It was before. Yeah.
Bro,
we had a whole
2019. I want to say.
I think Dave Chappelle put out like 4 specials since then. It's been a minute, and I didn't know that it was gonna keep dragging along.
Yeah.
Like Empire that ended, everybody didn't put out like 2 movies from that. Like, we still talking about it.
And
but
then, of course, in dramatic fashion, he's like, I'm not suicidal if I die. It was the powers that be or whatever.
Like, who's actively trying
Nobody's
to
searching you down, Jussie. Like, come on, bro. The KKK is not sending nobody in your jail to go find you.
At all.
And it's one of those, like, I don't want that to become the trend. Everybody that gets in some trouble talking about, oh, I'm not suicidal, so if I end up dead, it's the powers that be. No, nigga, you got caught.
I mean, do you got dirt on the president or something? Then I'm pretty sure they're not worried about you, Kevin. Yeah. Like Kevin, I'm pretty sure nobody's going to assassinate you in prison.
Like, bro, if you don't
at least a government agent's not.
Like, you got 150 days. Like, bro, you can't knock them 5 months out.
Facts.
Good behavior, you may even do 3.5. Like, you'll be fine.
He not finna see no damn San Quentin or nothing.
Like, bro,
like, relax.
You probably going to one of them bougie spots too. They feed you 12 meals a day. Yeah, you got to play tennis.
You can play tennis in jail.
I saw Wolf of Wall Street. I know how it goes down.
I'm ready for his as soon as he gets out, he's gonna go on an interview tour or book tour on like his life in jail.
Charlamagne's just waiting to throw more dirt on his name. I'm already looking forward to it.
He's gonna be like, oh, R. Kelly, I hung out with him, had breakfast.
We had a sing-off.
And R. Kelly smoked his ass.
But it's been actually like in regards to legal troubles, there's been a lot of stuff going on. Not really to go to sports, but it was legal. Calvin Ridley got in trouble for betting. We don't know if he bet on his own team or what.
I think he did bet on his own.
So whatever happened,
or it was his. I think he bet on the sport.
He bet on football.
So football players are not allowed to bet on football. Yeah. Why that's the rule? It's a couple reasons.
Because he was already because he bet on the playoffs.
Why he wasn't in it?
They didn't even make the playoffs. Yeah, he's on that Falcons.
So it's like, what's the issue?
I guess maybe it could be like I'm here and I'm the one betting I'm out of the playoffs, and you're my homie. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, Rico, make sure you get 5 catches. If someone throws you the 6, drop it, and give me a stat. Yeah. But 1,500. I mean, how much was he?
But the odds he said
were crazy.
Were like 10 mil. He would have won like 10 mil if he would have hit. So it's like, I don't know what odds he was picking, but he was clearly the underdog in all of them. But it was just my thing is this though, and I was telling this to my homies. I'm like, how do you even get caught? There's no way you're not tracing this back to me. I'm having my nephew's cousin place this back.
That's
like come on, bro.
Because his username, what they said is his username was, instead of his name's Calvin Ridley. Yeah. It was Ralvin Kidley.
You lying.
ATL. I promise you. No. I looked it up.
I heard it was something like Calvin Ridley from the Dolphins.
I think that was a joke.
That might have been a joke, but he said like his nephew set it up for him.
Yeah, so I guess he just switched the first. And the only reason they found out is because he set it up in Florida, and he was in ATL. In Florida. Yeah. So obviously they're like, oh, they're betting outside of Florida. So who is this? And that was Mr. Ridley himself.
Lost the whole year, bro.
Which is super, excessive.
Now it leads into another argument, and one can make the argument they're not related, but they also should be like some type of stipulation. Whereas we've talked about it before. Half the Dallas Cowboys at the time were all women beaters, and it was only getting six games. Yeah. Whereas he's betting, it's a victimless crime, if you want to call it a crime. It's a victimless violation. Yeah. And he gets his whole year just revoked.
I mean, you would just you take some pay. Like
I think it should just be a fine, or maybe
it should be like you gonna get fined 6 games. You don't get paid that. Fine, at least you get to play.
Yeah, like.
But it's like, bro, we done seen people beat women on conscience and elevators. and all type of other stuff.
Yeah.
3 games, cut and then picked up. What was it doing?
Therapy.
Yeah, you know
it's
what I'm saying?
And a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is outrageous." And at first, I was like, "Okay, there's like a lot of backlash, so they might shorten it." But then Mr. Ridley can't stay off Twitter, and he was like,
he is talking too much.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, well, this give me time to get my hamstring back," and then he's like tweeting other things like, "Oh, I guess I could bet this year," and like just a bunch of random.
Yeah.
He's like, "It's only 1,500," and stuff like that, and people are like, "All right, like."
It's like you
might have gotten something.
You're right, but now you painting yourself.
Now you're annoying.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where, like I said, in my opinion, it's one of them like the punishment don't fit the crime. Like he put up 1,500, he could have won 10 mil, but it wasn't like he was some type of gambling addict that like put up his house mortgage on whatever he was betting. So it's kind of like why is it so? I can understand not wanting to bet on your team because stuff like you said can get jumbled up. You could be talking to your quarterback, hey, I bet on myself to get 5 catches. Make sure even though your matchup may not work for you to get 5 catches type of deal. So
I see how that works, but it's like with anything. If my boy's a receiver over there and be like, hey, you can caught 3 in a row. You don't need to catch no more. Just you to have that any kind of power in football with their money, no, you can't. There's too much money in the playoff. You can't bet on it at all.
I get that.
I get it, but you shouldn't be suspended.
The whole year,
the whole
bro?
year,
like, come
crazy.
on, man. Like,
you got 17 games in a 16-game season.
And you, say by the luck of God, they make the playoffs.
You can't even play.
You can't even play. They missed all of that for what? Because of $1,500? Like I said, there's no way they would have been able to trace that money back to me. No. It would have been obviously somebody I trusted, different last name. We don't even look that much alike. And you gonna, hey, you get your cut, I get my cut, and we gonna call it even. Because ain't no way in the world because if I really feel the need to bet that much, you not gonna know it's me.
Yeah.
You betting $1,500. Like, come on. Like that's not. He's not an addict. Like you said, he's not making side bets on the field. He ain't got his phone. Oh my God, trying to do the parlays and stuff. It's like, bro, he's just made a bet. I mean, it wasn't against his team, but it was against the sport. It's like the Pete Rose thing.
Yeah.
You were betting in the sport that you play.
That's so weird to me. I don't know if that's a violation in basketball or not.
They made Michael Jordan, I guess.
There's rumors saying that his retirement was a suspension that they didn't want to make public because of the backlash, because of his gambling addiction.
Oh, we saw the gambling addiction. But I can flip this quarter, $10 million. Dude was taking his.
He was the security guard.
He was cheating. I don't know if they did the dunking race all the way back then, but whatever the race was, he used to, because it's Mike. He would come to the court 5 hours early to get his shots up and stuff. So he used to ask the court coordinators, like, hey, who's supposed to win today? And he would bet like Scotty, like on the bench, like, hey, I bet such and such win. Like he just started doing it. It's like, bro, like, what are we doing here? Like, what is wrong with you?
Like, get them big ass pants out of here.
You don't get those parachutes up out of here, boy. Oh man, go
continuing with the legal trouble in sports, we got Deshuan Watson. Clap it up for him. He didn't got cleared of all criminal charges.
So it's the way that because they don't. It's one of those like we can't flat out say he didn't do it, but there's not enough information or evidence to say that he did do it. So it's one of those basically due to lack of evidence situations.
Right.
Which, hey.
Like, hey, no harm, no blood, no foul type thing.
Type of stuff. And a lot of people were saying, like, whether he did or didn't do it, obviously, like, if he did, he should have been held accountable. But everybody was talking about, like we talked about when it first popped up, just the timing of everything. Right. He says he wants to get out of Houston. Then the week later, 22 women get, like, come on. Like
y'all was dealing with it up until this point. Now this was the breaking point, like right here, right now.
So it did look weird. They're trying to figure out what teams he may end up with Russell Wilson going to Denver. They're saying he may end up with the Seahawks or maybe Tampa, potentially if like Tom Brady stays retired. So it's a couple places he can go. I'm just trying to, hopefully for his sake, he stays out of the limelight. Like, just perform. Like, you don't need to do nothing else. Because it's very tough. Because luckily, in his case, and it's so weird how time changes over the years. Because, like, think about, like, when Tiger Woods, he was just cheating on his wife. Like, he wasn't beating on nobody. He just cheated on his wife and lost, like, half of his
Everything.
sponsorships.
Yeah.
He lost rights to his kids for a certain amount of
They
time.
don't want
It was like
cheaters.
everything going, and it was like he just cheated and it was sexting.
Yeah.
Now,
If anything, his wife was the one who.
his wife
damn
put her
near
hands
whooped
on him,
him.
yeah. And then like with the Deshuan Watson thing, this comes out, and because there wasn't any concrete evidence, he was still a Nike athlete. He still had, such and such going on. It was just like, if it comes out that you did do this, then you drop.
Right.
And it's
yeah.
just
Of
this,
course.
like a 10-year, about 10-year difference.
Yeah.
And it's just like the way the mindsets have changed over the years. Because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
looking back, niggas really overreacted to Tiger Woods. Like, Tiger Woods not the first athlete to cheat
Bro,
on his wife.
They're playing the voicemails, the texts.
I remember it was a big thing. On
It was a
Sports
whole
Center.
like Oprah Winfrey type of
Yeah.
thing. Like, it was like around the clock news.
Yeah.
Everybody had people who wasn't even involved in golf. Like TNT was talking about it. Like
Stephen
it
A
was like,
had something to say about it. Like,
it's
what are
just
you
like
doing?
this. Like this was such a big like kerfuffle.
Like
for
the world ended for like black athletes. It was
Yeah,
like,
like,
oh
wow.
man, he was the one. Oh man.
Like the nigga didn't forget how to play golf. He just was, and he wasn't loyal. It happens.
Yeah.
Athletes do it all the time.
That's just like if Michael Jordan came out right now and dissed the Chicago Bulls. You'd be like, what's all of that? And you'd be like, everything. We gave you everything. It's like, how could you do it?
Oh man, that whole. But yeah, so
yeah, they overreacted on that. But he was like the richest black athlete, wasn't he, at the point in time?
absolutely.
Yeah, so I forget. I think it was the Joe Budden podcast. They brought up like the highest earning athlete, like people that bring like search results, like
Yeah.
for people. It was like Tiger Woods was like the number one over everything.
Yeah, he hit like
he still generates the most revenue for any sport.
he hit like $1 billion in sports earnings or whatever. Like however he's not a billionaire, but like
Right.
he brought
His
like
net worth type.
yeah type of stuff. Like I think before he was like 45 or something like that. And you know,
he started young.
he started as a shorty, but it's just to think like it wasn't like after investments and stuff. It's like no, while you're still actively playing, like the same type of stuff LeBron's like while you guys are actively playing, y'all are bringing in $1 billion. So I think Serena is like not far behind.
I think she was 2 or
If
3.
she's not in the billion, she's like close type
She
stuff.
would have to be.
I think she is by now. I
Because
could
she
be
probably
wrong.
Nike's like 2 or 3
Yeah,
athlete.
you forget
She's
how
gotta be.
it's so funny because like you be in your own like window, you forget how big of a sport other sports are.
Mhm.
Like tennis is literally global.
Yeah.
Like I'm just now getting into soccer or football for the Brits and everything, but like you
tennis
forget
is a thing.
you forget how big those sports are and how like they shut stuff down
Yeah.
to watch that.
It's
Like
'cause there's
Wimbledon, like that's like a concert type stadium.
Cricket.
Watching two people just
and it'd be exciting because it's not like basketball where you have abundance of stars or baseball or football. It's just like
mano y mano.
her.
Yeah,
She could pretty much be anybody, man or female.
yeah.
It was like Tiger could be anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like LeBron, you like, oh, he's been beat before, but it's just out of 200 tennis players, there's a guaranteed one. Out of 200 golfers, there's a guaranteed greatest of all time. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And that brings all that money. Whenever you bring in golf, type it in Tiger Woods. Type in tennis.
They named the whole game after him. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't PGA, it was Tiger Woods.
It was
bro.
PGA after he caught the little cheating stuff.
Yeah, that's what
But
it was. Yeah.
was.
And it's oh man, the whole thing is crazy. But one more thing in the legal field, Chris Brown.
We got 2 actually.
We got 2.
Oh.
With Coogler.
Oh shit, we do. Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about Chris first. Now we were
What else is new with Chris?
friendly fire. We were safe. We didn't flat out say it, but we was all thinking it that something was very fishy about this here sexual allegation story between Chris Brown and this anonymous female. When we said that she was trying to demand $20 million, we all said that sounds a little predatory. It sounds a little tough. If you are honestly assaulted, this seems like an excessive amount.
That's the real reason we
You
went
should
missing
want.
for a month.
You should want.
We got attacked.
Yeah, you should want jail time. It shouldn't be. I want $20 million and I'll go away. And lo and behold, Chris Brown got the receipts. I don't know why it took him so long to come out with them, but probably because everybody and mama be hitting his phone up, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But he has her on the voice memo, hitting him up frequently for sexual intercourse. And like,
Nah.
why are you ghosting me? Why can't we talk? Why can't X, Y, and Z? He was like, y'all gonna stop lying on my name.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Chris has had his stuff in the past, but Chris has seemed like he's trying to, kind of take a turn. Now, everything that be popping up just out of nowhere, it's like I would be pissed off too. And I think he's kind of suing, they said.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna sue for that much.
Yeah, probably not.
But I mean, it's still like, yeah, because you're still defaming my name. It's like we talked about the Cardi B thing a couple episodes ago. It's like you can't just say, oh, just because I have a history of it. It's not like the R. Kelly thing where it's like, oh, if you type this in, you'll find a video of R. Kelly doing this. Like, you can't just, oh, I seen Chris Brown, he raped me because he didn't want to sleep with me. It's like, or I felt, oh, he made me feel like, you can't just throw my name out there like that. It's just, it's a weird. It's weird because we're supposed to be equal, but it's like whatever a woman says is like automatic de facto guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah.
But had he come out and been like, yo, this woman's harassing me, oh, toughen up, nigga. Oh, you the one hit Rihanna. You should be all right. Handle that the way that. You see what I'm saying? It's like this double standard.
Very. It goes hand in hand, I think, with the Tory and Meg case that's going on right now. That's I think it's supposed to end like the first week of April or something.
I think they got more evidence or something. They're trying to.
But
it's like he was completely innocent.
Yeah, everything's like from what's going on, like that's been coming out. He's probably gonna be not guilty.
Yeah.
And then like, what do you do with Tory? Like, can he sue back or what? Can he do something? Because he had just gotten all those sponsors with Quarantine Radio. He was like going up. Like his Chicks tape had just dropped. Everything was perfect for him. And then out of nowhere, it's like no one was going to work with him besides the baby.
Yeah.
And
that became a whole thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, dang, was the baby right the whole time? Like, so it's so tough because when it comes to something, especially as serious as getting shot or, sexual assault as well, I do try to, at the very least, listen to what both sides are saying. But naturally, you side more with the women because you've been trained that way.
Right.
So then when you talking about, and she actively has bullet holes in her feet, and she's pointing at the person who allegedly did it, you like, okay, well, 2 and 2, I'm gonna try to make 4 out of this. And then it was so much going on, and then around the same time, it was women starting to speak out more about just everything. So it's like it was kind of the perfect storm. If he is innocent, I'm not saying he is or isn't, but if he is innocent, it's like this is why everybody was, you got to be guilty because of everything that went on around the same time this happened.
Yeah.
So she didn't want an I told you so. That's what it seems like. It's because had this happened and she blamed him and he had responded like probably not like a nigga. He carried himself like, oh, he did shoot her in self-defense. Everything he was tweeting and hopping on the lives was, oh man, no, I'm gonna tell my story. Like, she attacked you in self-defense, but if you was completely innocent, it's a way you carry yourself. Like, you don't. It was like the Drake and Kanye beef. It's like, yeah, you may or may not have slept with Kim. If you didn't, you acting like you did. And you going around telling the streets that you finna act like you finna kill me and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, if I didn't shoot you and I know I didn't shoot you, I'm not finna, wait for the court. I'm finna, it'll come out in the light. But you was out here, F you, F your friend, this, blah, blah, blah. It makes it look like, well, when she said it, now you getting aggressive, it must be true. And now you being innocent, but you still, I can't wait to expose it. And he's going to put it all on the album. As soon as he gets cleared, then it's going to be like, okay, you're messy. Like, she was wrong. She's dead wrong if she is wrong. But you don't got to embarrass her about it. I mean, she embarrassed you, but we all supposed to be the bigger person.
Yeah, that's
but that's where it's tough.
Yeah,
it's like, you got to be a tough one. But, I mean, I know she owes you bread because you definitely lost a couple bags.
Oh, for sure.
But
I think his last few stuff was like flopping, like the stuff he was trying to put out.
So it's like, I mean, like y'all should kind of let this go earlier if she knew what the real truth.
Yeah.
But
depending on what comes out, we'll see what happens in the court system. But yeah, with the whole thing, back to Chris real quick, and then we can move on. The whole thing with that is that you go to Twitter, and Twitter, you gonna get
whatever you ask for.
Honestly, it's like either hard left or hard right in regards to what decisions they would decide to side with. And so many people was just like, oh yeah, this seems like something Chris would do. What are you even talking about? Like, yes, does he have an abusive history? We're not ignoring that. But if he said that he's trying to be better and no recent, shenanigans to my knowledge, I don't follow him that deeply, but no recent shenanigans have come out saying that he's been this, that, and the way. The whole thing with Karuchi ended 4 or 5 years ago, to my knowledge. And so if he's, making the effort to be a father, be better, just be an artist, and then the first thing people are saying, oh yeah, he for sure did this. Yeah. This sounds like something he would do based off of this situation with Karuchi 4 years ago. Come on, like that's the first step y'all take. I get it. You never want to accuse a woman of lying about something like that. But at the same time, why can't we just take the stance? We're gonna wait till the truth comes out. Like, why does it have to be hard left? Oh, for sure he did it, because we never want to say a woman is lying.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you also don't want to be like, oh, that hoe is lying. There's no way this man did this. Why can't we just wait until the truth comes out for whatever it is?
Because people
that doesn't give me likes, Rico.
Yeah, that's true. And then people put it together. It's like, okay, the last time we seen Chris Brown, he was womanizing, and so this ain't too far fetched. That's how people look at it.
True. That's very true.
Yeah. It's all about the timing and your impression. Like, Chris made an amazing first impression on everybody. He was, oh, give me pop it and all of that, da da da. And then it's like, you hit her. Now you a grown ass man. You know what I'm saying? You put your hands on a woman, you got a case. So now we look at you away. Then you wanted to be gang blood number 2.
Yeah. And
then you was doing this, and you was all the baby mamas, and you was fighting, and this, that, and the other. And it's like, you got a history. So this isn't the world's most far-fetched thing. And that's the thing. It ain't like when people are like, oh, Martin Luther King slept with white women. Impossible, blah, 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 blah. But then when you see the pictures, you be like, And I was like, wait a minute. Something's off. So it's just really all in how you carry yourself. Chris Brown don't carry himself like a woman abuser, but you do have that luggage. So remember, you got to carry that luggage with you. Nobody's ever going to forget that.
That's true.
So, that's anything you do with women, they automatically going to take their side. Off rip. Especially if you Chris Brown. Especially if you Chris Brown.
Facts. Anything to do before we move on?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Ryan Coogler got harassed.
Okay, so now I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. I didn't get the full details at first, but when they because I hate when people because everybody want to be first on some Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport. We'll talk about that. But
Ryan Coogler robs a bank with
but see, like all they showed was the picture of how he popped up. They was like, he showed up in a hoodie, a mask with some glasses on, and a slip of paper asking to deposit X amount of dollars. And the black woman behind the screen just was like, robber. And then everybody was like, well, Ryan, why would you show up like that, this, that, and the third? That wasn't the best. But then further details come out. He had his ID with the slip, letting her know, this is how much I want to take out. This is my name. This is all of that.
You have to give them your bank card.
Like, I think he gave him a debit card,
You have to give them your account and your ID for them to, like, you can't just go in there and give me $12,000. You have to be like, sir, like, you just didn't know who he was. And just to see, why would he hand you his ID?
My thing is,
if he's finna rob the bank,
you don't even have to know who he is to do your job properly. Now, everybody was like, she may have been new or this, that, and the third. The cops was there and immediately started pulling guns out. Like, bro,
threw him in the backseat and everything. Like, do you not know who I am?
This man gave us Black Panther. Like, is this what he needs to go through?
Was he wearing a regular face mask or is he Kanye
N95?
If I see someone with an N95, that's a responsible person. If anything, I'm like, oh, yeah, they got the money. I'm not even checking their account. I'm like, yeah, you got it.
All right, expensive those are. All the electricians take those masks.
Benefit of the doubt, I would shoot a little bail is because you are a director, we don't know, like, 100%. I couldn't pick him out from a can of paint.
I'm cool with that. I'm personally okay with you just not knowing who Ryan Coogler is. That's fine. I don't know who half the directors in Hollywood are. But the simple fact of the matter is he did that. He did the steps to get his money deposited properly. He didn't want to talk because of the whole COVID thing, so he wrote out what he wanted with his ID, with his debit card, I think they said as well, to prove that I have an account with this bank.
Yeah.
What else the man got to do?
He could have done it a lot better because I didn't seen a lot of bank robber movies where they write the slip. Yeah. Like, yo, give me all the money.
With their ID and debit
card. And then
here
comes the pistol right here. He'd be like, oh.
Did he do it on magazine clippings as well? Or what? To be safe.
Oh, man. That whole thing was nuts, though. And then you got people say, it was a black security guard. Good job, officers. And it was just like, we just...
you should know who Ryan Coogler was.
We just not supporting each other at all. Like, what is going on?
It's like this the wealth status. It's like he showed up in a hoodie, not with $100,000 wrapped around his neck in a Ziploc bag. You know, so it's like obviously we don't know this guy's successful. He's obviously poor and homeless because he's black wearing a hoodie, and it's just he needs money from his bank. That's what everybody just automatically assumes.
Literally, you know that hoodie's probably like some obscure designer.
It's probably like a $7,000 hoodie.
Dude, man, it's so scary because you know how left those things can go. And because you panicked instead of doing your job properly, even if you go get your manager to be like, hey, X, Y, and Z is going on, so they can like confirm. Because if you knew, I ask questions all the time. Yeah. So if you truly don't know what's going on, I got to talk to my manager real quick for whatever reason, even if it's going to take an extra 3 minutes. I'd rather you take the extra 3 minutes to ask and confirm who I am than getting 2 cops pulled on me and me getting sent to the back of a truck. Anything could have happened.
Yep.
And now you got to live with that. Now I don't get a chance to go home to my wife and kids because you panicked.
True. All I know is like his next movie is gonna be fire.
It's gonna be the wokest movie in all the history.
Yeah, pretty much. I ain't got nothing else. I mean, they're just bogus. I mean, you should know that I'm not pulling out my ID in a bank robbery. Just if I'm trying to get away with it, at least I'm not gonna do that.
It's the ultimate crime. He let you know who he was.
And then you walk in there and just like, you know it's on. And he was just cool as ever. Like
he was trying to do
because if he panicked, he knew it wasn't gonna go right.
You know, if she panicked like you said, and there's a hero in the bank, there's always a hero in the bank. And if this hero gets to drop on to movie director Ryan Coogler,
what if he was?
Oh, like, take him down.
Oh man.
What if he was like doing the ultimate director, like next level? Like he has someone hiding in the corner recording. Just get the most sincere reaction possible as a bank robbery.
Whole time, this is the trailer for his next movie. We don't even know it.
He was in the backseat of that car. I am Ryan Coogler. They was sure, nigga. Yeah. And I'm the Cookie Monster. Nigga. Shut up.
I loved you in The Wire. That wasn't me.
Yeah, whatever. Above the rim, whatever you guys call it. What's up? Did you want to talk on that Gucci belt, the third world country thing?
So I'm gonna introduce it. I'm gonna introduce.
When you said Gucci, I thought like we were talking about the Gucci Mane NBA YoungBoy.
Oh Lord, that's a whole nother thing. But I'm gonna introduce this topic real quick. So obviously, kind of zeroing back to what we talked about at the beginning with the whole issues going on with Russia and Ukraine, and you know, United States doing, not minding their own business, feeling like they got to get involved, and obviously our gas prices go up and everything going on. And this certain phrase has looped back around, mostly because of a TikTok video that went viral. People interviewing people on campuses. Oh, what do you think about America? And literally all her answers were basically straight out of Twitter. Like she just like
the wokest person.
Her whole
third eye.
Yeah, her whole personality was Twitter. She was like, oh well, America's basically just a third world country and a Gucci belt.
She spoke in 140 characters, no less.
Basically. So like all she spoke was phrases that you can easily search for on Twitter. So she said America.
Read this thread.
Yeah. Show more. America is a third world country and a Gucci belt. Now, that has been trending for a while. I ain't going to hold you. Back in the day, I've liked some tweets that said that because I understood the overall sentiment. But I never thought of it from a point of view that Mr. Zookeeper has presented to us. So present your point of view as to why that is a very ignorant and less than ideal way to phrase the issues that America has going on.
Yeah. Well, although like America has a lot of like shitty issues like concerning either police, concerning homelessness, concerning, Flint doesn't have clean water and whatnot. The homeless people here make more money than the average person in the actual third world country. That's probably the easiest thing, so I don't have to dance around and bring out like. That's probably the easiest way I could put it. Like I had told them, where my dad's from in Mexico, they drink out of a pipe that's like sticking out the water. I'm from Mexico City. We still have to, ration water, put it in a bucket. You're spraying out. You have a bathtub and everything, but chill on the water. You can't use it like that, and type of thing. And my ex, they still shower in not frequently, but they do. At least once a week, twice a week, they're like, all right, instead of using our own water, let's just go to the creek or river, whatever it is, and let's take a quick bath. That was all my main point. And then I was sharing things like rest in peace to in Mexico. They had the soccer game.
RIP.
RIP.
There was a riot, and about 28 to 30 people died. But if you go on Fox News or ABC News or Shade Room or whatever, they're posting 28 people injured. When you could go on TikTok and you go on Twitter and you could go on these social medias, thank God for that, and you could see the videos of people literally getting killed and stripped naked after they're laying dead. So where it's 28 actually dead and still 28 injured, and more 50 or 60 hurt, injured. But the government in Mexico is going to try to cover it up. I don't know if I've told the story here, but I've told them in the group chat when my grandpa was in college they did a whole protest, and the government, the protest was like a couple months away from the Olympics that were going to be hosted in Mexico that year, and they were doing a protest, and the government themselves basically massacred a bunch. And my grandpa was there. He ended up getting arrested and everything. Thankfully, he survived. Obviously, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
And it was like 1968 or so. And
Not that long ago.
basically, he recalls like there were the dead bodies. They were putting them in wheelbarrows and putting them in the back of pickup trucks.
These are like college age kids.
Yeah, all of them college, like university students.
Wow.
And basically, that's what they did. And when if you look it up now, they announced maybe like I think 5 dead. Where he's like, no, there was like wheelbarrows, like people
Like,
being
yeah, no,
transported
it was a
out.
massacre.
Yeah. And it's like stuff like that where they do in third world countries. Like I know right here, like shit, you know, like George Floyd and whatnot. And like there's like it's not just George Floyd. There's multiple cases you could Google every day. There's probably a case of a cop shooting a person. But right here, even if they try to hide it, the person's dead, and you could tell. Like although like the justice system will mess it up to where they could get away. In Mexico, those people disappeared. Like 10 years ago, like 28 students disappeared. They were going to a protest. Like they're still not found nowhere. Well, they're dead,
Right.
obviously, but
they're still missing.
They're labeled, missing. And it's stuff like that where I was like, third world countries, like a little. I know the Gucci belt makes it probably nice, but there's like,
yeah. I know. I was just gonna say is because it's like, where do you draw the line between second world and third world?
Because I didn't even. Now, is Mexico considered a third world country, like by definition, or they?
I think it is.
I don't know. I
think pretty much most of like Central America might be third world.
I can Google it real quick.
For the most part, outside of their big cities, like they're pretty much the Wild West out there.
That's most like vacation spots, like in general, like Jamaica. No, not to.
Well, Jamaica's like that. Dominican, India, they be having like animals just roaming through their stuff. Like it be kids getting snatched up by monkeys.
So it
and
says
all type of stuff.
technically Mexico is by definition a third world country.
I did not know that.
So I would think we're like a second world. Because, I mean, you look at our problems, and now that he explained a lot of that, it's like, okay, yeah, we have homeless people. Like, niggas ain't never had to, like, jump on top of a train or have to worry about getting kidnapped by the cartel and shit. See what I'm saying? Like, you got to worry about kidnapping, but these people are literally, like, not living in tinfoil houses.
I think it's tough because I do my best. I can only speak for me. So I do my best to try to, obviously, still acknowledge when I'm not in the best places or whatever, but also be grateful because I could be in so-and-so's shoes or whatever. But in my opinion, and what I think a lot of unless they just don't know what they're saying, or what a lot of people are saying when they say that phrase is America markets themselves, and I think is by definition a first world country or whatever, but it's the treatment of their people and the treatment of how they handle certain situations has a lot of third world elements to
They
it.
market themselves as like perfect, almost pristine. Because obviously, you know, like slavery in Mexico was abolished way before it was abolished here in the U.S.
Like technically,
and
it's
things like that.
TikTok has taught me that, like, honestly, a lot of like slavery type things or I think lynching is only. Well, I sent in the group chat. It was like finally abolished across all of America a couple weeks
federal
ago.
crime.
So it's like little stuff like that, and it's like I get what they say. Like once again, I do think it is kind of like a slap in the face to people who go through that on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. But at the same time, to live in a country that markets themselves as this grandiose, like you said, pristine thing, and then you see with a microscope what our homeless people are going through. Yeah. They want to keep building billion-dollar structures in New York, and they got the highest homeless population. Yeah. And like we got homeless basically neighborhoods under our viaducts in Chicago and stuff like that. So
same thing in LA. They got Hollywood right there, and like 5 minutes away or 10 minutes away.
So it's crazy. So I get it, and especially when you brought it up in the group chat, I do want to make sure I'm more cognizant and aware of how I phrase certain things and how I, have people around me phrase things, because there are people going through stuff. Not to negate what us as a country and us as a people are going through, but it could always be worse for sure. And then it's like you do want to still, kind of keep an open mind to what other people are dealing with.
Because it's like you look at what everybody else is going through in the world, and you look at our problems, and you're like, man, it's real bad here. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Yeah. So it's like, they don't have a choice in that. Like, we can I'm gonna go and live with them people in Mexico and India, and I don't want to. I mean, as bad as it is for us and whoever here, it's not that. Mm-hmm. So we can all agree that it's not that. So if we're not that, then we can't really be. Oh, we feel y'all because we don't know. Like, we don't know what that's like.
Yeah,
true.
Which is like
we ain't never had to worry about getting killed at a Bulls game.
True.
Or riot or nothing like that. Like, it's like people real life out here trying to make it. Like, real life trying to make it. And we gotta, because I was late on rent. Like, this nigga's living in a Nike box. Like, real life Nike box. Like, it's crazy. Niggas walking around with these old ass championship shirts. Like,
yeah.
Like we gotta just hand me that. You just wasteful.
Yeah,
stuff.
like we gotta donate the losing teams shirts and stuff to
we get them made.
Third world countries.
We get them made just so we don't have to make them later. So you can have them the moment that game ends. We got both sides ready. Like at Diggs. And we had Cleveland and Chicago stuff.
Yeah, we as soon as Chicago won, they shipped all the other stuff out.
You went right to Africa and India and all of that.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for educating us.
Oh, no.
Thank you for giving your opinion. Fire Nation, let us know what you think of the phrase third world country in the Gucci belt. How do you feel after hearing somebody's opinion on it? Is there anything else we got?
We can try this for the third time, the Yeezy documentary.
Okay, do you want to talk about it now or you want to make it a bonus episode?
It don't matter.
We can talk about it now then. So, we've been trying to get this out a while, but my audio has been working the whole time, so happy days.
Real quick, congratulations to the Rams and Dr. Dre.
Yes.
If you didn't know, they won the Rams won the Super Bowl, and Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg made an appearance.
And 50 Cent was upside down.
The game, and Dre, that's something else. We don't care about that no more.
Yeah.
Zoo, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Go ahead, my boy.
This is my third time attempting now. I won't be silent. No, the Genius doc was broadcasted over Netflix. Shout out to Cootie. He's Kanye's longtime friend, who just decided one day, like, yo, this guy
just decided to pop
got
up on
something.
Kanye.
That's real. Like,
he got something.
When you look at it, it's so like,
I'm gonna follow this man around with a camera.
I like this kid.
Yeah. I mean, he just had that personality, and this nigga had a camera.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, hey, I ain't got nothing better to do, and then it became something.
He should explain, like, Cootie's parents were probably like, so you're following your friend around with a camera, you don't have a job? Like, what are you doing?
He was like, no.
You don't understand, Mom, the creative process.
I have a vision, okay? I too am a creative genius.
He's a genius.
20 years from now, this is going to be worth millions.
You'll see.
As soon as that late registration, they was, oh, man, you not following your friend around with that camera no more?
You don't invite me nowhere, Mom. You forgot my name.
No, all seriousness though, I calling me Chike. I've obviously had my opinions on some of the stuff Kanye has done in the past. But what I've learned so much about, his just this documentary and just kind of how he went about his way is that just the ultimate confidence and perseverance, and knowing that if you going about it the right way, it's gonna work. Like he
just keep at it.
He kept at it. He did everything right. He took his bumps and bruises, not being recognized as a rapper for the longest. He basically had to bum rush Jay-Z with the either freestyle or already prepared verse to a beat to prove to him that I can rap.
Yeah.
And
or they said that he'd play the beat and he would already have a hook on it.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, and he would be like, oh no, I got you a head start, basically.
Yeah.
Like, this is my hook.
Because
like,
Jay-Z even told him flat out, he was like, if you hadn't rapped, you was not gonna be on this song.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like to hear that, it's like you really you realize like he spent his whole life more or less just proving himself, and it does explain why he is the way he is now.
Yeah.
And you see, like you said multiple times, he was like that back in the early 2000s.
He got into an argument with his best friend because he called himself a genius. His best friend was like,
no,
how are you?
He was like, what you mean genius? He was like, why can't I call myself a genius?
Yeah.
And I like that attitude. It's one of those, like, who are you to tell me I'm not the greatest at what I do? Like, you have to prove me wrong. He was, well, you ain't been proven. He was like, well, and what's so funny was that when he was trying to explain it to him, he wasn't giving him like really valid reasons as to why he couldn't consider himself a genius. Well, you haven't been proven. So,
yeah,
right.
Like, why I can say that ahead of time.
Yeah, it's like, this is how I feel about myself. I'm like, you can't make me not feel this way.
Yeah.
If I think I'm a genius, then I'm a genius.
Yeah. And Kanye's never been one, even today and back then, like you can see in the doc, he's never one to call himself a genius and basically tell everybody else they're not, unless he has beef with them. like Mr. Pete Davidson, but everybody else, he'd be like, no, you should think about yourself that way as well. He has interviews a couple years ago where he says that, and in the doc, he had that interview where he was talking for his mom's foundation. He's talking to some kids, and he's like, I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm the greatest artist out, or I'm the greatest ever, and every single one of you should feel like you're the greatest ever at just life for whatever you're doing. And so he's not one of those people that wants to bring everybody down. He's trying to lift everybody up. He has that.
He's trying to bring you with him.
Yeah, he has that line. I think he said it during maybe Life of Pablo times.
No.
Yeah, no, it was an interview. It was an interview. No, I know the line. I'm trying to remember when he said it.
Fake.
It was an interview. He was on the Ellen Show on Tuesday. No. All right. No,
Episode 195.
He's like, if you're a fan of Kanye, you're basically a fan of yourself. I'm just the espresso that's gonna push you. Like, all right, put stronger on. Yeah, I remember. There's 1,000 users, only one of me. And I'm gonna prove it because I'm gonna get a chick that looks just like you in every aspect.
Man.
And you can't get another billionaire, basically. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. Well,
That whole, it's just
he manifested a whole lot, and then you definitely see the impact of losing a parent, especially like your number one supporter.
Yeah,
memorizing all his songs. Like,
even
she was like, I like that part right there when you said and spit it back verbatim. I'm like, wow, like that's nuts.
When she said in the first episode where she's like, why didn't you do that song? He's like, what song? She's like, it was called, I forgot, because it's like an unreleased verse. And she just starts rapping for him, and Kanye's like looking at her for the first like 30 seconds, like trying to remember where she's getting these bars from.
I said that.
And then it clicked, and he's like, oh, and he finished off the rap. So it's like she memorized everything, which is crazy. And like now, I think a month ago, he was basically, with this whole divorce thing that's going on, he kind of criticized his mom too, because now he's barely starting to get close with his dad, because he said she cut his dad off. He didn't want to move from ATL to Chicago with them. She's like, all right, you don't want to be part of our lives, you're cut off, you're not seeing my son, basically. Until I'm assuming Kanye is the one who made the effort to see him too. And because the first time we see his dad really is when he did when he did Jesus King. He's in one of the videos. That's the first time he's like, yeah, I'm trying to reconnect with my dad because my mom cut me off. So you can see his point of view where he basically had no parent because he didn't know his dad. And then now that he's getting his dad back, he's probably like, yo, dads mean a lot. And now you could kind of, sort of, I don't want to say justify what he's doing with Kim, because like some of the things he's doing, like, is a little overboard, but
a little,
slightly, a tad,
just a
smidge.
A little tinge.
So maybe you don't post that one today.
Yeah, that one probably didn't need to get shared. He was like, I'm breaking my silence. Nigga, silence?
Ain't nothing about this been quiet. Your tweets been loud in all caps.
The loudest exhibition I have ever seen.
But I may or may not have leaks. No, but so I think next week there's supposed to be rumored to be another Donda listening party. So it's probably going to be an updated version of the album that we have now.
Are they gonna update it off the stem player too, or
most likely? Because now you could download it on your phone.
Are you getting did your sister decide to buy you yours?
She said that's a birthday present, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get this because by the time October rolls around, it's over with.
Damn, October, you can get it before then. You should be able to get it before then.
Absolutely.
Like I said, sis hated a year.
Yeah,
hating on the shark costume.
Hates her. Don't want you to have the hoes or the plays.
Bro, that was a whole magazine. I was like, I'm buying another one, returning. Yo, send me another. Keep the money.
You gonna throw the Yeezy hoodie over there?
Kanye gonna be like, is that a shark? That's a shark. Bring him down.
Come down here. You gonna pass
Which
out.
Which is crazy because I was wearing my Yeezys, so it's just the shark costume thing Yeezys, and like,
oh, he was fresh.
No, like 80% people were like, shark, and then like the other 20%, mainly the dudes, were like, yo, I'll fuck with your shoes, because like their girlfriends or whatever, they was like, oh, can I take a pic? Let's take a pic, and then the dude would be like, yo, shoes are fire. So I was like, yo,
he was everywhere.
He was like, hey,
how Drake feels.
Oh man, is there anything else before we get up out of here?
Do you want just some quick updates on the pod if we have it?
Okay, so obviously, like as we've said, it's been a minute. A lot of that's just been life stuff going on. As you guys may have known by now, I've gotten married. It's just been a lot, and it's not to complain. It's just life has been happening.
Chance the Rapper over here.
No, he loves my wife.
No, honestly,
me and my wife on this podcast.
Real talk though. I've honestly thought about getting a podcast with her just to talk. But I've had like the most like random just married events just happening. Bro, I had the most stressful 2 days shopping for a sink. The last we cause she's like trying to revamp the little kitchen area. So we was like, okay, we're gonna add a sink. We're gonna move the sink here. And we get the sink, or we ordered the sink or whatever, and her parents was paying for it. So it was kind of like it was like cool. I was like, that's cool with me. Yeah. So the contractor comes, he's like a family friend or something like that. He was like, yeah, this isn't gonna fit because it was a bar that was in the way, it wasn't gonna fit. Okay, fine, it happens. We'll go get another one. I call ahead trying to be the responsible adult. Hey, we're looking for this sink with this dimensions, but it can't have this bar because it's not fitting. Do you have anything like that? Oh, yeah, we got like 5. I'm like, okay, what's the price range? He tell me the price range. All right, we'll be there in like an hour. I get there. Bianca's with me. I called an hour ago about the sinks. Oh, yeah, they're over here. Now, it doesn't have this bar because we can't have it there. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, I carry the thing. We get up to the apartment. It falls out the box. So I'm like, whatever, we got it. As I'm picking it up,
the bar.
I'm like,
it's a bar on it.
B, it has the bar that we can't use. She was like, what? I'm like, it has the bar. She was like, put it back in the car.
Damn. I gotta learn how to take damn.
So we do that, and I don't know where they found the right one, but even then, they still had to kind of jury rig it and cut some stuff to make it fit. I was like, fine, whatever. We got a sink. Cool. I've lost so much energy shopping for a sink, bro. I'm like, what in the world?
Is it a kitchen sink or the bathroom sink?
Kitchen sink.
Okay.
But it's just
gonna
like
be worth it in the long run.
It will be. It's definitely an investment because the apartment we're at, 9 times out of 10, her younger brother, it's weird to say younger because he's my age, but her brother will be moving into that one when we get the one that we're moving into renovated. So it's kind of like it's an investment type of thing. That he's got So the whole family owns the building.
Family wealth.
Yeah. So it works out. Yeah, Jay-Z. I've been listening to a lot of Jay-Z. And whatnot.
Sit by the block back.
Rico lost 92 bricks.
Got it right back. But yeah, man, it's just little stuff like that. It's like I ain't never been so tired shopping for one thing, like a sink, bro. I got home and went to sleep.
We had to shop a couple years back for the washer and dryer. Oh my God, it was just like,
bro, that's just next.
We
looking for.
Why is it so difficult? Like, does it wash and dry my clothes? That's it.
Literally, I was like, oh, what about this one? She was like, nah, we need one that's stacked. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, what about this one? Oh, we can't use that brand. Why? Because it'll flood. Well, we probably shouldn't use that. All right. It's just little stuff like that. And then we both got new jobs. That's another life thing that happened. So we had a lot going on. We had all got sick around the same time. That stopped us. Then we both got new jobs and the hours have been conflicting. We shooting this. It is currently 2:09 in the morning. A.M. So we're not going to complain. Die for the pod. So it's we little stuff like that.
I'm gonna get pulled over with this shit flashing.
You was Shark 28. What is it?
And then I just at my new job, I got invited to go to these business trips. Because for those who don't know, I got a new job at the old junior college. I went to Morton College. I'm in charge of social media accounts. So I kind of handle the Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that stuff. On my off day, my boss calls me. And I'm not answering because I'm asleep. So she called me 3 times in a row. So I pick up. I'm like, what's up? She was like, hey, the coach wants to know if you would like to go down to Michigan to film stuff for the tournament. My mind, because I love basketball and I love getting paid to just do stuff, had to stop myself from saying yes. Because I had to roll over in the bed and look at her. And I put my boss on mute. I was like, hold on.
You got to check in.
I was like, hey, so.
You're like, babe, please.
I was like, so. There's an event going on that they would like for me to attend. She was like, what? I love you. I love you a lot, So
and then Rico said it's for women's basketball. No. It's no.
So basketball. So she was like, yeah, go ahead. And the whole reason I mainly asked her was because I got another business trip literally 2 days after I get back from this one. Yeah. To go to Colorado to go to a marketing convention where we learn from marketing experts.
Dame Dash.
And basically, I think Jay-Z is gonna be there.
No, he's not be there. Dame Dash would be
there. They in 2 separate hotels. Then we gotta travel back and forth.
Dame Dash is the 10K meal. Jay-Z's the 100K one.
So yeah, man, it's just been a lot. Zoo's been ripping and running. He's about to go back to the motherland for 2 weeks. When April or May?
End of April.
So
we're gonna get a couple of bonus episodes and stuff in.
So yeah,
we're gonna Batman. Whackman. No,
I think. Did you watch it or no?
No, I haven't watched it yet. But all I know is he likes Kanye and doesn't like Pete Davidson. That's good enough for me.
So it's gonna be a tiny hiatus even after this episode, just because I'm gonna be going for work, but. first week of April, we should have an episode out. No issue. We obviously this one will be dropping the following month. What's the following Monday?
Monday, a couple days.
Today is the 12th, so the 14th.
Yeah, 14th.
I think. Yeah.
Oh.
So
Happy
I
birthday.
tried to watch Batman this week.
okay, cool. So we'll have
Catch up on
that.
Bel Air,
Yeah, we gonna do an end of season Bel Air review.
which I was right with the whole either Ashley or Carlton was
Yeah.
was gonna be
You was
gay.
totally
yeah,
right.
I knew it.
we called it. You called it specifically.
Yeah,
You
I thought
had-
it was Jeffrey, but we'll get into that later.
We
Yeah,
will
we'll
definitely
get
get into
into
that.
Rico
later.
also hates the new Hillary. Well, the old Hillary, I should say. My bad.
Oh my god. Save
Karen
it for that-
Parsons.
Oh my god.
Shout out her.
She still look good.
Oh, don't try to change them now. Don't change them now.
But man, is there anything before we get up out of here?
Nah, that's about it.
All right.
Our
So
thoughts and prayers to the Ukraine again.
obviously,
Yeah,
we thank y'all for
prayers.
sticking with us. We thank y'all for everybody who was asking where have y'all been, what's going on. It's just been life. We are
Yeah.
we are working to get more consistent. Obviously, once Zoo gets back at the end of the beginning of May, I guess is when
Beginning
he's
of
coming
May.
back. So once Zoo gets back at the beginning of May, there should be no real reason
Gonna
why we
be
can't be as
nonstop.
consistent as possible to
Right.
grow and to continue to Five Nation. So like I said, it's
Especially
gonna
with gas, I ain't going out no more.
no, for sure. It's gonna be. We got a couple more gaps coming, but every time we can, we will get a podcast out to y'all. That much I do promise. So
Stick with us, please.
we thank y'all for tuning in to yet another exhilarating podcast. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at friendlyfire2021@gmail.com or at us, DM us at friendly_fire on IG. Once again,
Yeah.
friendlyfire2021@gmail.com and friendly_fire on IG. A TikTok will be coming soon with all of our clips and like questions of the days and type of stuff. I just got to kind of work some stuff out, but that's coming soon, so be on the lookout for that. On behalf of my boys, I am Rico,
You.
G Baby, Zoo, Friendly Fire. Be blessed.
See ya.
Peace.